Welcome to Own Your Image with Dr. Fungai Mtisi, where we discuss issues that happen in our societies. The mission is to transform individuals to become better people in terms of culture change and reputation management. And today, I've got an interesting topic. The world has become a global village. Click of a button, swipe of a screen, you can access someone beyond borders. We are discussing the effects of social media. And to discuss this topic, I'm joined in the studio by Tsitsi Kachembere, who features in the Madam Boss the Ludzai series, which is a series that is accessed by more than 320,000 people on social media. Tsitsi, welcome to the show, and I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mtisi.
Thank you very much. So, Tsitsi, I would like to know, do you feel safe to just post your material on social media?
Okay, I will put it this way. I used to feel safe. A few years back, let's say 3-4 years back, I was very safe because by then the attacks on social media, the cyberbullying, and all the negativity had not started yet. But it's just from last year, Facebook, with I will make a specific reference to Facebook. It has been on the top of cyberbullying, of negativity, and so these days I don't feel safe. If you scroll on my page, you will find pictures from years ago, because now I'm afraid so and so is going to see, this shoe, it looks, I'm not safe anymore.
People are now analyzing what
Yes.
you're wearing on social media. So you're scared to go in the streets and talk, or you don't feel safe on the social media platforms.
Well, I would say the streets are way safer than social media now.
Okay.
Yes, because someone cannot say a negative comment about you right in your face. But on social media, they don't know you. You can't see them. So they can just say anything they want to say.
All right. So have you been bullied on social media?
I personally have never been bullied, but someone really close to me is a victim of cyberbullying on social media, and it broke her. It affected her so much. So I've seen it happening to someone very close to me, and it was not a nice view.
All right. So maybe let's look at the professional side of you. I understand you're also a professional.
Yes.
You work besides your acting and your acting roles in the series. You've got a professional life. Has that posting on of the series affected your professional life?
No, it has affected it in a positive way. Social media is a very easy platform to advertise your work, marketing, and all sorts. So I have decided that I would rather use social media for marketing purposes, not for social purposes.
All right, Tsitsi. What I also want to find out from you is that with such a huge following of 320,000 people and everyone putting on their comments, do you have time to go through everything, or once you post, that's it?
We would want to know, because we are doing it for these people, so we would want to get the feedback from these people. Are they happy? Where would we improve? Are they making any suggestions, and everything else?
All right. Tsitsi, maybe this is more personal. As a single lady, social media, doesn't it put you on spotlight, considering you're beautiful, you look glam? And you know, there's always Mr. Right out there. Don't you think you're also pressured as a girl and as a young woman?
Well, okay. I will answer that anyway.
Okay.
There are advances that are made by men through your inbox, and they say, hey, my name is this and that, I like you, and so
I can be Mr. Right.
Yes, yeah, but you know, I think social media is this for marketing or whatever other stories going on. I don't think it's not a dating site. That's how I put it.
All right, Tsitsi. So now I want to find out from you now. Don't you have pressure to wanting to impress people out there when you are going for work? Maybe you are visiting your relatives, you are in your social life. Don't you have pressure now to keep up with that appearance which is on social media?
Deep down inside me, I do have that pressure because
Okay.
I want to show people I've visited so and so, I've done this, I've achieved this, but I want to tell people. But at the back of my mind, something is saying, you know what, people are going to bash you on social media.
Okay.
So you just have to lay back sometimes
And just chill.
Yes.
Now there's someone out there, probably a young woman like you, who is aspiring to be like you, who wants to be known by people. They want attention, not in a negative way, but they really want to build their brands on social media. What's your advice?
My advice would be they should know how to separate their personal life from the business
And public life.
Yes. If you know how to separate those two, you will live a happy life.
Wow. Tsitsi, thank you so much for coming. I wish you well in your profession.
Thank you.
Effects of social media. Join me after the break. Welcome back to Own Your Image with Dr. Fungai Mtisi, where we are discussing the issue of social media. And now in the studio, I'm joined by Ashby Nduna, who does not like to use social media. He's not on Facebook, he's not on Twitter, he's not on YouTube. He doesn't like. And Ashby, welcome to the studios.
Thank you, Dr. Mtisi.
I would like to hear from you. Why is that you don't like to be on the social media?
Well, the thing is, I don't have a problem with social media. What I have a problem is how it is used.
Okay.
If you look at the 90% the stuff that is done on social media, if you put it on a scale of 100%, let's take, for instance, WhatsApp. If you say business related or things that matter, if you put it on a scale of 100%, you're looking at about 70% of the stuff that's there, which is not which has got nothing to do with business. So the way I look at it, should I spend 70% of my time doing things that are not relevant to my life? So the question is no. So I would rather use the 30% wisely. Yes, I'm on WhatsApp, the only social media that I'm on.
I was going to ask you, so then how do you communicate with other people who are on social media?
You know, as I said, the 30% of my time, the one that is valuable, that's the one that I spent on WhatsApp as well.
Wow. So how have you managed to restrict yourself from the use of social media or even be tempted?
What I do is I give myself time, right? There are times when I am busy when I wake up, you know, because I look at people who use social media. Most of the time, it has created zombies in the world, really, whereby people are just on WhatsApp. Interaction at home is not there, you know. And according to statistics that have been run, if you look at most people who are depressed, it's because of social media, stress, addiction, social media. So what I do is I dedicate my time. There are times when I look at my WhatsApp, and it depends on the time. I don't have to look at it when I get up. No. But you find that there are some households when somebody gets up or before they go to bed, they're on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes. So I've managed to make my time useful. I take my 30% importantly. I look at what's important on WhatsApp, and then I respond to that.
There's a lot of dissemination of information that happens on social media. And sometimes the information is so crucial. Don't you feel left out if you're not on social media and everyone else is talking about that? That could have even affected you.
Oh, okay. As I said, you know, I dedicate 30% of my time towards that. I'm sure if it's life-threatening, somebody would have called me by then. You know. the problem that we have is the content. You look at accidents, an accident will happen, people take pictures, they post it on social media. A relative of that person will see it most probably before anyone else. This has happened. You look at Vanu right now, social media. I mean, we are losing Ubuntu, because of social media. I'm not saying it's totally bad. It's a means of communicating, which is cheaper, but let's use it appropriately. Not to, if you look at it, 70% of the time, it's not being used appropriately.
Okay.
Yes.
So according to the research, statistics indicate that 52% actually, for the people in Zimbabwe, have adopted social media as a means to communication, and organizations are even moving into that groove. Don't you feel left out now, you as someone who dedicates 30%, and we're saying the majority of the customers are on social media and you need to capture them? Don't you feel left out, or maybe you are behind in terms of keeping up or catching up with your customers?
No, I don't feel like that. I mean, as people who are in marketing, there are different forms of advertising. Yes, there's social media, there's TV, there's if you want to capture your audience, you have to try all everything that's possible. And if I want something, I would research. I'll go on the internet and look for that particular thing. What I'm just against is the use. It's a good marketing tool, but what I'm against is how it's being used these days. It's not being used appropriately.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're a father with that mentality, that feeling. And let me bring in your children who strongly believe that social media is the place to be. As a father, how do you now handle that, especially dealing with teenagers?
Well, fortunately, with my teenage kids, when they communicate to me, usually they communicate to me on important things. We want something, we want pocket money. It's never about, jokes, Photoshop stuff and stuff like that. No, we usually communicate. We use the social media to communicate on the things that we need to do that are within our means.
All right.
Yes.
And my last question to you is that we have the old school also who are slowly getting into the groove. What's your advice to those who are not really sure about how to utilize or how to use social media? Yes.
Well, the old school, I think what we need to do is to use it properly, not to abuse it. As I said, social media is not bad. It's a means of communication. But let's use it appropriately, not to use it to do things which are harmful, on social media. That's wrong.
Or to even put the dirty linen.
Yes,
on
on social media, yes. That's what I personally think. And I think with the old school, I think they know how to use social media appropriately. I might be wrong. Look, I can't say 100%, but usually I wouldn't think somebody would Photoshop, have the time, the elderly guys to Photoshop or to take a picture of somebody who has just passed away or something like that. I think they use it appropriately. I think it's just the way it's used these days which has become wrong. It's no longer a communicative tool, but I think it has become 90% of the time as a tool which is destroying instead of building.
Wow, thank you very much for coming to the studios, Ashby. He doesn't believe in social media. In fact, he says 30% of his time he dedicates it to social media. We want to find out from the experts. Please join me after the break. Welcome back to Own Your Image with Dr. Fungai Mtisi, where we are discussing the effects of social media. And now I'm joined in the studio by Langa Ndlovu, who is an expert, a young entrepreneur who is into social media marketing and digital marketing. Langa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's been such an honor.
I would like to find out from you, how best should people use social media?
I think the best way to use social media, particularly in this age, like everyone is on their phones, they're on their laptops, everyone is literally living their lives on social media. The best way to do it is to make sure that your reputation is managed on check, your brand is managed on check, and whatever it is that you're putting out for the people to see, because there's like millions, there's literally millions of people watching you on such platforms. So what you need to do is make sure that you manage your brand and manage what you're representing very well on social media, such that at the end of the day, your brand is bought into, your product is brought into, and your personality is brought into, because ultimately we're all trying to sell a brand, and you're a brand, I'm a brand. So with the millions and millions of people that are actually watching you while you're posting a picture, posting a bit of content, a post, whatever it is that you're putting on has to actually make sense and has to actually make you revenue at the end of the day. So that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay, Langa, brand management. Ngatitaure kune munhu ari kumusha uko. Uri kureva kuti chi kana uchiti brand management pa social media?
Right. So as I am right now, I'm a brand. You're a brand. Wherever you are, you're a brand. So whatever it is that you represent, whatever it is that you believe in, is actually what is brought out by what you post on social media. So basically, when we talk about brand management on social media, we're basically talking about how you manage your persona and how people see you on social media. So you have to be very careful, depending, of course, on what it is that you want to promote about your personality or your brand, right? You have to be very careful about what you post, because as I said earlier on, it's all about the millions of people that are literally watching you on the pages that you are managing.
Okay. And Langa, I think you can agree with me that research and the trends has shown that a lot of people are being damaged. Depression, anxiety, stress, and fear because of the effects of social media. How does someone regain and get that confidence back when their image has been distorted through social media? You know what,
the biggest thing that's happening right now over the past, I think, 5 years has been the whole cyberbullying. People have the liberty to say whatever it is that they want to say about you, about me, about whoever it is that's watching this show. So unfortunately, at this point, it really depends on how you then manage your own self-esteem. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we've had instances where, sex tapes have come out on social media. We've got instances where wrong stories or bad stories or false information has come out on social media about people, about brands. And at the end of the day, they have to recover from that, because remember, with brands, you have to make money from what it is that you're doing. So at the end of the day, I think what we're supposed to do is make sure you keep your head up and understand that whoever really knows you understands your brand and understands what you're about. So if anyone else has anything to say, really it's all about them. At the end of the day, it's all about you and your brand, and make sure you keep your head up. A lot of things are going to come out and a lot of things are going to be said about you, particularly if you're doing something right. So yeah, so all I can say is just keep your head up and make sure you're confident about your brand and confident about what you're doing.
You've brought in a very interesting topic. Nude tapes. We've seen a lot of those on social media.
I know, right? Like, yeah.
Yes. So now I want to hear from you as an expert. Why do people find it easy to just post such material?
Quite frankly, it's really sad. It's really sad, but the truth of the matter is, with the digital age that we're in, a lot of people are very fascinated by a lot of ignorance. Ignorance sells. You're given, like, all the way from Hollywood, you're told sex sells, nudity sells, all this sells. So everyone is trying to push an agenda, and it's quite unfortunate that people can use me or you or the next person or you right there at home to push their own agenda. And I think at that point it becomes an issue of you having to manage what type of material you want to have like literally put out there. As I said earlier on, you're a brand. You have to manage your brand. You have to manage your personality, really depending on what you want from that personality. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, Langa. Now, let's look at the implications of forwarding negative information that is going to impact in a negative way to someone else. What are some of the consequences that someone can likely face when they push or forward such material?
Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm so grateful, actually, I'm so grateful that you actually asked that question, because we've had instances where a lot of false information has been dispersed, a lot of social and economic and, like, issues have just arisen and instabilities have arisen because of false information. I'm sure with the Zimbabwean government, there's something that's being done to make sure that that is kept. But at the same time, looking at the people that are actually developing the applications, there's blockages. Like, you can actually get blocked if you send something that's explicit. You can get disbarred from using the application. So at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that whatever message that you're putting across, whatever it is that you're saying to the people that, like the thousands of people that are following you, is positive and it's impacting the better use of information dispensation, regardless of whatever field you're in. So yeah, basically that's it. Make sure that you use social media very well, and it's for a good cause, because it's a very, very damaging aspect, considering the number of people that are actually consuming that content on social media and on the digital platforms that you're in.
Wow, Langa, thank you very much for coming. I've learned. There you have it, viewers. Social media is such a powerful tool when it comes to building your brand. If used negatively, then it has got drastic effects which can affect you for the rest of your life. Please continue to follow us on our social media handles. Would like to know what you think with regards to the topics that we discuss. From me, Dr. Mtisi, and crew behind the scenes, we believe confidence is key to success. Join me next time.
Own your image. Own your image.